Hello everyone and welcome here to Speedrunners Arena and welcome in to a Super Metroid Randomizer Accessible Tournament quarterfinal match here in the mouse bracket. I'm Ferran Burgundy. I'll be bringing the action here to you tonight as we have the 19-seeded RaikouRider taking on the 27-seeded FenixDown23. This is match number 1 in a best of 3. The winner of the overall round will head on to the semifinals to take on the 18-seeded SE. But we won't determine that here as this is game 1 of a best of 3. So that means that whomever wins this will have an advantage, but fret not as game number 2 will be immediately following here. And it looks like our runners have been let loose and they are underway. This is a Super Metroid randomizer, but it is with the intent of everything being in logic. The only things that are required are infinite bomb jumps, which is probably the most difficult thing, as well as some wall jumps and some vertical shine sparks, but not horizontal ones. And we see here FenixDown already making his way into the elevator from Criteria to Brinstar. Our runners are going to head to the one item that is guaranteed to be vanilla, and that is the morphing ball. And then from there, well, we will see where things go. Now, it looks like there's about a 3-second differential here, which, well, if things go well, we hope will come into play as things get close near the end. We're going to take a look at the construction zone to start off with, and we have some power bombs. That is a good, probably ideal start, as our runners are going to more than likely check the Billy Mays location, which is not necessarily in logic as of yet. But you'll see a lot of what our runners do. They're going to break logic, including right here with the item in the ceiling. Normally you need high jump boots or space jump to be able to do so. And we see that the ceiling item is a set of super missiles. And we have some regular missiles just to the right. That is vanilla. And I would imagine at least one, if not both of our runners, they're going to take that check to Billy Mays just because it's here, and coming back here later is rather out of the way. But they're going to have to use some power bombs to be able to get up there, and it will render them rather light. So I would think that they're hoping that there are some power bombs back here, but we do have 2 items to check, and one of them is the spring ball, and the other, but wait, there's more, act now, and we'll throw in a missile at no extra charge. And both of our runners are going to pick up the spring ball. Sorry, MM2. I'm sure you're less than thrilled about that. So now both of our runners are going to head out of the Billy Mays area, and with only a couple of power bombs here, it'll be interesting to see. Well, Raikou having a little trouble with the damage boost earlier, and I don't know if he's going to abandon it necessarily or not. Phoenix, meanwhile, heads into the blue Brinstar power bomb, and that's a set of missiles. So RaikouRider ends up skipping that particular item for now. Oh, RaikouRider. Oh, okay. I put the emphasis on the wrong syllable. Thank you for that, WJG. Now here in the old Mother Brain spot, we have Spazer. Well, there are worse things to get here in the early going. as that'll add to the firepower a little bit here, and both of our runners going to definitely grab that. Now, they're out of power bombs, so they're not going to be able to check the 230 missile location. Named after the Gen 2 Pokemon. Well, considering that my knowledge of Pokemon is next to nil, that would explain the mispronunciation on it. But I do thank you for that. I've commentated a few of Raikou's matches along the way here, so I'm kind of surprised that it's just coming up now. We have an energy tank here in the Bomb Chorizo location. So no bonus chorizo. And it looks like we have a prediction started. I would imagine it's going to be which suit will be seen first. And Phoenix is going to go ahead and stop into the ship, replenish all of his ammunition and energy. And we're going to see very nicely done on the Alcatraz escape, as normally you would need bombs to be able to do so here. And Z-Man, you're right. There are a lot of things that I need to play. So many games, so little time. Just a slight variation on that 1983 song, but that's a whole nother story for another day here. As we have the energy tank in the 230 missile location. And Phoenix is going to head back up now and take a look at Terminator. And we have high jump boots at the Terminator location. So some interesting early finds here as we are just over 7 minutes in. We're going to get a peek at the back of Gauntlet. Phoenix taking a look. And a pair of super missiles. Raikou now going to pick up Old habits die hard. Raikou. As Phoenix now going to head down the elevator here and going to give us a look at Green Brinstar. Alright, we have a missile to start off with, and supers and more missiles. And even more missiles. And Raikou following suit. He's going to head up top first and pick up some missiles there at the early super location. And yeah, needed to head up because not enough missiles to open the door there, exactly. So Green Brinstar, a bit of a bust. And let's see here, we have some missiles to start off with the super location. And we have Charge Beam. That's a nice find. Raikou about to pick that up momentarily as well. We've got a damage boost here from Phoenix. And yes, 1 of 3 for the microwave option. All that's needed now is the X-ray and the plasma beam. And we have an E-tank up at the top of Edacoon's. Now, our runner's taking different paths to get here, as Raikou had pulled off an upset against the 14-seeded Kevnastics in the first round, and then defeated the 30th-seeded Chish in the second round, both of those 2-0. Phoenix, meanwhile, had pulled off an upset to the 6-seeded Happy Artea, as Phoenix going to see the power bombs pick them up at the Big Pink. And then edged Diddy Kong, the 11 seed, 2-1 in the second round to advance here to the quarterfinals. So the Mission Impossible room has some missiles. And is now heading into the Spore Spawn. Well, heading in the reverse way of what's intended. A well-timed super missile will be able to get you back there and avoid the Spore Spawn mini-boss fight. And Ice to see you! We have the Ice Beam at the Spore Spawn location. So pretty decent haul, all things considered, in the early going, as we have the super missile at the Big Pink bottom missile location. And now FenixDown going to give us a look at the Wavegate location. Easier done with the high jump boots. And first try able to get it. And just some missiles. Now Phoenix is going to go ahead and pick up those super missiles as well from the bottom pink Bryn here. And we'll take a look at the Vanilla Charge location, which is going to have some missiles as well. And Phoenix is going to leave that alone. And now over to Green Hill Zone. Take a look at the pipe. And the pipe has an energy tank. So a pretty generous amount of energy here in the early going, closing in on the 15-minute mark, but no suits to be found as of yet, but quite a few beams. We've got the Spazer, Charge, and Ice already. All that's missing to complete the set is the Plasma and Wave Beam. Now the Wave Beam puts that Wavegate glitch in logic, although it is a glitch that is able to take advantage of that. And with the Ice Beam, Phoenix making the option to climb up Red Tower. Phoenix going to head over to the Alpha and Beta PB rooms. Going to first head south to the Alpha for 2 checks. Damage boost, there's some missiles to start off with, and some super missiles in the back. And this is our first divergence here, as Raikou's going to head down Red Tower. I mean, those high jump boots do put Kraid into logic, so it certainly makes sense from that standpoint. We're going to get a Spazer check here, and that has the space jump. Exactly, WJG. I can hear the orb from Portal 2 now. Meanwhile, a missile in the Beta Power Bomb room, and Phoenix looks like is going to head back down the tower. So Raikou with a little bit of an early advantage here with that space jump. So over into the warehouse we go. Gonna take a quick peek, and some super missiles at the warehouse hidden missile location. Phoenix gonna go ahead and pick up his space jump. Almost doubled back and realized, oh, this is something I want. Tends to happen, as more often than not you're expecting it's going to be a missile or something. And Raikou in to take on Kraid, the first of the 4 bosses prior to Mother Brain. And Phoenix right behind. And Raikou not able to freeze the open mouth in location. Gonna get a stand up here from Kraid. So it's known as taking Kraid to prom. But the charged Spazer shot is going to go ahead and take it down, as Phoenix picking up that super missile in the warehouse location. Let's see what is behind Kraid. It is some more supers. Now, Phoenix will be taking on Kraid as well, as Raikou heading out of the warehouse area. And we have the gravity suit at the frog room. And we have the stand-up as well on Phoenix's side. Kraid being a little problematic here this evening. And Raikou gonna utilize the power bomb and head right into Meridia, but first is gonna take a save. as apparently a Metroid has crept into my broadcast booth here. Or it could be the whimpering of my dog. Take your pick. They do sound similar. So down into Upper Norfair goes Raikou. We've got missiles and a super missile. And in the high jump boots location, we have Plasma Beam. That is a nice find, so we are just X-ray away from the microwave. So far, things have gone rather swimmingly here in the early going. I mean, we've got 4 of the beams found. We have the gravity suit. As Phoenix now picks up the plasma, and Raikou gonna head back up. And I would imagine that Meridia is gonna be his next direction. But yes, with finding the gravity suit, as our restreamer Music75 notes, that means that there's a lot of potential places for the Varius suit. We have an E-Tank at the Main Street Missiles location. And Raikou trying to head in to the Mount Everest super location. Does so to get the speed booster. Feeling the need for speed. And this does open up a lot. It looks like Phoenix going to be heading up to the X-ray check off of Red Tower. Meanwhile, Raikou going to head into Yellow Meridia and take a look at the beach. And some power bombs, opposite pick them up. And just power bombs at the X-ray location. So the gamble not exactly paying off there for Phoenix, and we have super missiles and an energy tank at the watering hole. And that is a good point. The setting up of the 15 power bombs, that does allow for a potential crystal flash if needed to recover energy down the road. And we already have guesses as to where the Varius suit could be. Although wherever it is, it lost me about 800 channel points, so there's that. So Raikou is going to go ahead and go left sandpit first here. And Phoenix is back at the ship. And we have missiles and more missiles at the left sandpit. Meanwhile, Phoenix is going to give us a landing powerbomb site check. And there's X-ray. So there's all your microwave items found. Meanwhile, in the aqueduct, we have supers and more supers. And Raikou going to go ahead and check the right sand pit now. No grapple beam, so Shack Tool not a thing yet. We have an E-tank over to the left, and supers to the right, and another reset. I think that was missiles at the moat, and I think that was a reserve tank at the maze missile. I don't believe we had a Mama Turtle check. As Phoenix now heads into wrecked ship. And we have power bombs at the spooky missile location. And Raikou is going to go ahead and head further into Meridia here. I don't believe we had a Mama Turtle check. As we have a Phantoon fight over on Phoenix's side. And an E-tank at the precious missile location. So, Raikou working on the Dragon fight. Does not have that X-ray, so is not going to utilize the microwave. Meanwhile, we have missiles over at the wrecked East super missile location. And now over to the west, we have some power bombs as well. As Raikou takes out Dragon. And is going to give us a check here, and there is some missiles. Meanwhile, Phoenix going through the spiky room of death, and is going to give us a look here at the E-Tank location. And it's an E-Tank, and it's a welcome sight, albeit vanilla. Meanwhile, Raikou making his way out of Dragon's area. And is Raikou going to give us a plasma check here, he wonders out loud. Well, Phoenix, meanwhile, not going to make the climb to the rest of wrecked ship. So, interesting if something is up there. So let's see what plasma brings here for Raikou. It's some super missiles, and we've got a reset. So yeah, that does explain the save, so that'll double back Raikou here. And I mean, check tool is a possibility, although the ice allows them access, but it is not in logic without the grapple beam. So now Phoenix is going to head into Meridia. Now, it's also possible, I don't believe that we had a Mama Turtle check. So we'll see if Phoenix opts to make that check. Well, Phoenix is going to head in here to get speed. And Raikou heading out of Meridia without checking Mama Turtle. This is interesting. So now both runners kind of checking what the other hasn't. As Raikou now gonna check the top of Red Tower. And Raikou opts for neither of them and ends up getting chewed up a little bit there. Now, we also haven't seen the front of Gauntlet, so that certainly is a possibility. And with Ice Beam and Speed, Climb Tower Supers is a possibility. And this is true. With no Screw Attack, yes, it would be out of logic, but I'm also presuming that both of our runners would be able to bypass that. Because when it comes to the caliber of runners that we have here, logic seems to be just a suggestion. And Raikou now going to go ahead and check the landing PB spot, and that's where he'll find X-Ray. And does opt to pick it up as we have the microwave over on Bot Wound's side, and you can see how quickly that allows him to just go right through Bot Wound. And it looks like we are going to get a front of Gauntlet check here from Raikou. I don't know if that is a dog crying or if that's just a stroid that's come into the room here, Neo. Well, there's the grapple beam. So for those who are hoping for Shack Tool, you do have a bit of a chance with that. For the shoutinest of Schadenfreudes. So Phoenix taking Dragon just about out, but this last beam should do it here, and does. So Raikou heading over to the wrecked ship area. So there's that reserve tank at the Maze Missile location. And as well as at the Mermaid Missile spot. Phoenix heading on back through. And there's the power bomb at Spooky Missiles. And we're about to have a Fantoon fight on Raikou's side. And that could be the difference. If there is a check here of the upper part of wrecked ship, that could be the difference, though neither of our runners have checked Mama Turtle either. Raikou taking out Fantoon here. And I think it was WJG who had earlier guessed the attic location. Hello there, Zero. Yes, I'm doing my due diligence here as, well, yes, I know there is that other event going on, but I wanted to help out here. So it looks like Phoenix is heading over, and we're gonna get a Shack tool check here. So we're getting to see a little bit of everything and a little of what we're not used to seeing. So Phoenix gonna go attempt an ice clip here. Unable to execute it at the moment. But the second try is successful, as Raikou is gonna take a look at the E-Tank and probably grab it. Or is gonna reset. So now is that pivotal moment. Will Raikou make the check through the rest of wrecked ship? It looks like the answer to that is going to be yes. Meanwhile, Various student Shack Tool. Wow, what a find. Trolley game is trolley, and now this wrecked ship check is going to be a large detriment here to Raikou. So an E-Tank up at the attic. I guess the question is, how long will it take for Raikou to go all the way back there? Oh man. That is without question the trolliest of the locations. And Rec Reserve, that has some supers. And now we're going to take a look here. We've got a reserve tank up at the missiles in the sky. So 3 reserves all in this local area here. That's rather interesting. Maze missiles, mermaid missiles, and missiles in the sky, all with reserve tanks. And Phoenix heading immediately down out of Meridia and into Norfair. So Raikou's going to go ahead. Raikou's rather going to go ahead and go bowling here. And Phoenix a little slower on the uptake than intended, trying to go over to the ice location. But I don't think that's going to too negatively impact the lead. And not even going to check ice here. Just going to head on through. Will we get a crumble shaft check? We will not. And there's supers at the grab missile location. And screw attack at gravity suit. So I would imagine both of our runners most definitely feeling behind. And Phoenix heading right on over into lower north there. To answer the question, Grapple was at the front of Gauntlet. Which, yes, for Raikou does put Shack Tool in logic, but it is such an out-of-the-way check. I mean, that was a definitive gamble for Phoenix that paid off. Raikou's gonna go climb tower. Oh, wow. Oh, Phoenix now in the worst room in the game, and there's an E-Tank at the climb super location. So now where is Raikou going here? A possible waterway check? That's kind of what I'm thinking at this point. Yeah, we're getting a lot of the meme locations. It's kind of, all right, which one is it? And everything coming up Phoenix right now with the gamble at Shack Tool. And Waterway not bringing a whole lot to the table either. Meanwhile, here is the Ridley fight for Phoenix. And Ridley down on Phoenix's side. And now here is an X-ray check for Raiko. We know that it's going to just be some power bombs. And now here is the climb and escape. A nice speedball through there on Phoenix's side. Now we've got a save here at the base of Meridia. That's a good point. Apart from wave or bombs being down here, nothing really for Phoenix to check. And now into Bubble Mountain, where we have missiles. So Raiko has to be wondering, where is this suit? Apparently it turns out that not checking Mama Turtle wasn't detrimental, but neither of our runners had done so. Well, we are going to get a Mama Turtle check here on Raiko's side. Just some missiles and supers. Exactly. So that means Wave was somewhere in the remaining 26 checks that haven't been looked at between Upper and Lower North Air. And Raiko heading to the sand pit. See the E-tank. I guess did see the other item. And Raiko realizes this is the last location that it can be. And Phoenix is at the ship. And is going to be heading into Turian right around the moment that Raiko finds his Varia suit at Shack Tool. Exactly, a Shack Seed. Grapple was at the front of Gauntlet. Which Raiko did find, but Phoenix did not attempt to go that way. It was just last locationed on Raiko's part, and that is why Phoenix is in Turian, and Raiko, now having found the Varia suit, still has to go all the way down to Lower Norfair, take out Ridley. But given that Game 2 is going to be immediately after this, I'm fairly certain that as soon as Phoenix delivers the dot done, that Raiko will end up forfeiting. Yeah, between both of our runners, we had full clears of all of Criteria, Wreck Ship, Brinstar, and Meridia. Yeah, I don't know if I want to imagine the obeying of the logic being forced. Then it would be kind of like that commentators race that Invarial and I were a part of. And nobody should be put through that more than the one time that you were. We're being told that Game 2 may not have a restream, but if it does... why not? I've made sillier decisions before. Sure! Phoenix not saving. And not able to get the Zeb skip, at least the first go of it. There is the Zeb skip. And now just unloading the missiles here. Utilizing the rings as a bridge. And not a lot of wiggle room here. 183 energy. Have to have 301 for that final beam. Does take a hit there, so now down to 163. We're on the catch-up phase. And that is going to do it here for Phoenix. There is the Rainbow Beam. Now There is still the escape, but Raikou not in the best of positions at the moment, and that was just a routing issue, as noted. It was just checking everywhere but Shack Tool, and that turned out to be the play. Fenix took the gamble, and the gamble paid off. Now we have the cutscene as Raikou is farming up here before Ridley. Yeah, Z-Man. Raikou last location Varia suit at Shack Tool. And Fenix took a gamble that it was there fairly earlier, and while Raikou was still looking around, Fenix was on the way down to Ridley and out of Lower Norfair. Yeah, this one was on the trolley side. But that's why it's a best of 3. So, barring a planetary catastrophe here, FenixDown will take game number 1 in this best of 3. Having to fight with the steam is Fenix, and get out your GGs as Fenix is going to take game number 1 here with an official SRL time of 63 minutes and 14 seconds, and as anticipated, Raikou has forfeited. No, to confirm, Raikou has forfeited. That is correct. Well, it looks like we are working on getting some crew rearrangements together here to present the second race to you here. So we may be bringing our runners in here for an interview, and it looks like that is the case as Phoenix is joining us. GG on the first game of the best of three. Looks like basically it came down to you gambling on Shaq Tool, and it was last location by Raikou.
Yeah, I think at that point, because the seed was all over the place, and I felt like I was getting every item in the wrong order, if that makes sense. I had fully committed to doing all of Meridia at that point after I had bailed on Wreck Ship.
Which is interesting because it took a while for both of you. Did either of you know, or well, I guess I'll ask you because Raikou were waiting to come in here, but did you realize that you had skipped past Mama Turtle?
Did I skip past Mama Turtle?
Yeah, both you and Raikou eventually did, and chat was musing that how hilarious would it be if Varia was in Mama Turtle's area and both runners skipped it.
That's crazy. I have no excuse. My any percent, habits must have just taken over in Meridia there. Yeah, I really wouldn't have skipped it. I would not have skipped it. It totally just blew my mind. Like, I thought I was down to my last 2 checks there in Meridia.
Well, it turns out that it was nothing of note, as it was a missile and a super missile, but it was just the hilarity of it that I thought of the potential irony.
Yeah, that's interesting. I went to Wreck Ship not wanting to go into Meridia. The seed felt like it was pushing me to Wreck Ship, but then when I got there, I was like, oh man, it just feels bad. Like, nothing about this seed felt good. I went up Red Tower first because I had ice, so I got baited to go up. Checked a couple of rooms, knew that, I couldn't really do anything else, so I went down, then found Space Jump, and I thought, oh man, it wanted me to find Space Jump and then go up. It was just a lot of up and down and all around on this seed.
Boy, I felt like I did everything right until I realized where Varia was. Nice ice clip seed.
Yeah, definitely. Where was Grapple? Did it end up being top of Wreck Ship?
It was front of Gauntlet.
It was front of Gauntlet, and it was front of Gauntlet, and Screw Attack, to put it in logic, was at Gravity Suit location.
Yeah, I didn't check front of Gauntlet either. I mean, I made a couple of plays here that I just decided in my head that if it loses me the race, I was okay with that, and that included skipping the top of Wreck Ship and front of Gauntlet there.
I was that way about specifically X-Ray location. One other thing that put me a little bit on tilt was I missed the damage boost to get the supers at Brinstar Ceiling, and I was going to use those super missiles. Since I needed to refill my power bombs anyway at the ship, I was going to make a save at the ship and then check Red Tower so that I didn't have to make the up-down decision. That way, if there was something at the top of Red Tower, great, I could continue. If there was nothing there, then I had a save at my ship that I had to make anyway to get power bombs.
Yeah, I was all over. I was up and down Red Tower like 4 times this seed. It was really one of those where it was giving me the items that I wanted after I went to the location where I would have needed them. So, yeah, it was crazy.
Also, as I mentioned in race chat, when I found as much ammo as I did, for a while, I was thinking hard about RBO, and it would have probably been faster to do RBO than what I ended up doing.
Yeah, I think for me, going into Lower Norfair without Varia Suit and SMRAT would just always be slower. I think that doing all the rest of the checks would end up being faster in the long run. I mean, you didn't hear me say that, and maybe I'll do it next seed.
No, I was just trying to find the suit, and then when I realized, because I actually skipped Mama Turtle when I found Speed Booster. I got Speed Booster and kind of got distracted by it, and
that was
after I killed Fantoon, After I killed Phantoon, I think it was when I was in Attic is when I realized I forgot to check. I forgot to check. What
Mama
was it?
Turtle.
Yeah, I forgot to check Mama Turtle, so that's why I went down to Bubble Mountain missiles first. Because if it was at Mama Turtle the whole time, then there was no way I was winning anyway. So that's why I didn't check it until I went on the way to Shack Tool.
So there's your answer, because we both skipped Mama Turtle, and I didn't even realize until they told me that I'd skipped it, but it was that speed booster. It was like, ooh, there's speed. Let's continue on through Meridia. That was definitely it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I can't believe we both got distracted by speed booster.
Yeah, that was it for sure.
We were definitely musing in chat as to, oh man, if Varia is in Mama Turtle and they both skip it, I mean, that would have just... I don't know if that would have been better or worse than Varia being in Shack Tool as we had found.
Oh, I get one per interview, right?
I don't know, as I'm not the one who makes those rules.
But yeah, what the F, Music? Just really.
I haven't seen a Varia at a Shack Tool seed in a little while.
I have had, I think, 2 or 3 of them this tournament.
That's craziness.
This is not my first one.
Yeah, I definitely skipped enough that if you would have told me that it was going to be a Varia at Shack Tool time or seed and it was going to be, an hour and 3, then I wouldn't have believed it. But I skipped so much. It just ended up paying off. It was very lucky for sure.
Well,
it's definitely high risk, high reward.
Well, if you put Varia at Shack Tool behind all of that, there's just no way. There's no way I'm gonna find it. I haven't learned the ice clip yet.
Well, quick hint. I don't know if you had X-ray scope, but X-ray scope does a force stand-up. So if you morph into a ball, then back into your crouch, and then do a turnaround while you're X-raying, it will force you to stand up through that platform.
I did not have X-ray scope at the time.
Oh, you didn't? I was gonna say, yeah. If you have X-ray, then that Puyo clip is much easier. You just freeze the Puyo really high, and then you can X-ray clip through that.
That's really good. That's really good to know for SMZ3 because you're more likely to have it then. But thanks.
All right,
well, I do see here in chat, Music is letting us know we are all set up for your next race, which is going to be restreamed here. I will be I'll be sticking around here in the booth and calling the action for race number 2 between the two of you in the best of 3.
Sounds good. I'm going to join the room and take maybe 5 minutes, maybe less.
Same. I'm on the way.
Well, good luck to both of you, and GG, and we look forward to a fantastic race number 2, which will be coming your way in a matter of moments. So we're going to go offline for a moment and come back, and that way we can have the 2 races separated here. So don't wander. We have more Super Metroid Randomizer accessible tournament action coming your way here on Speedrunners Arena in a matter of moments, and we'll see you next mission, which is fairly shortly here. Stay tuned here on Speedrunners Arena.